Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Token Metrics Thursday live stream. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, then like and subscribe to this channel. I'm joined today by Team Token Metrics, Forrest, Mehdi, and Michael. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
All right. As a reminder out there, folks, hit that like button. We're going to have Q&A at the end through our Mentimeter, and Forrest is going to take you through the agenda and some of those details. Take it away, Forrest.
Yeah, so before we jump into the market update, I'm going to ask everybody to do what I start every stream doing. On my phone here, I'm not playing a Metaverse game. I don't even know if Axie Infinity has a mobile game, or is it on mobile? I'm not sure. Regardless, I'm hitting share on this live stream and I'm sharing it out on Twitter. You might have more followers on some other social media platform. Feel free to share it there. That's how we're going to get to 1 million subscribers. We're already over 100K, and for that, we thank you. All right. Let us jump right into the slides here. Token Metrics live stream. In this live stream, we're going to talk about 3 altcoins that we think you need to know about: RMRK, IoTA, and Luna. We're going to tell you why we think you need to know about those. Bill's going to give you the crypto market update. I'm going to do a little crypto market update segment myself. And then we're going to jump into Crypto Showdown. And if you want to participate in that, go over to menti.com and use the Menti code. Should be a link in the description below. If not, pay attention to the next slide because I'm about to give you that code. We're going to do a little brief AMA, token or Ask Token Metrics Anything question and answer session. And you can submit your questions through the Mentimeter code. So if you want to participate in Crypto Showdown, or you want to ask us a question, and guys, we get a lot of questions. We're not going to be able to get to everybody's. We apologize in advance. All right. But the code is at menti.com 479-413-56. So head over to menti.com and use that code if you want to participate in either of those things. Let's head over to Bill with the market update.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. All right, friends, we're going to call this Crypto Slowdown. So yesterday I'm doing the market update and things are looking good. And it was one of those cases where as soon as we hit the off button, I turned around and looked at the screen and everything turns and goes lower. And I'm like, uh-oh. So what we're going to do today is we're going to slow things down. I'm going to give you the market update and we're going to try something new. I'm going to give my colleagues some time to jump in. So I'm going to give you some charts and then I'm going to let them give you some color, all right, about the charts. And then maybe we can go more in depth throughout the stream. Okay. Bottom line is stay tuned. Okay. Stay tuned and stay alert in this market. Now, virus, Fed, inflation, legacy, fear. There's lots of it. So I know you guys want me to keep this to a minimum, so I will. People are afraid in the legacy markets. If you look at this giant green candle in the top right corner, that was people being afraid when the first Omicron case was announced in the United States. Okay. Also, the Federal Reserve has hinted that they're going to possibly stop printing money. And there's also talk that they don't really care if the equity market goes down a little bit. This is creating, some substantial concern in the legacy world, which can spill over into crypto. So this is not just a couple altcoins that we think are good when the market goes up. We are actually going to be brave and tell you about coins that we think can hold up if the market goes down. Bold, I know. Let's just finish up legacy with stocks. QQQ, NASDAQ 100, okay, head and shoulders top. So until proven otherwise, Legacy does not look good. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I hope the Fed says or does something that helps Legacy recover. Okay, over to crypto. Now, here's the good news about Ethereum. It really hasn't done anything parabolic, right? It hasn't trended higher. It hasn't gone up 50% to the point where you have to lay awake at night worrying whether or not, it's going to collapse in your face. Also, as I've learned from my colleagues, it looks like layer ones are positioned to capture the value from everything from DeFi to Metaverse to gaming. We're also seeing smart money pile into ETH. Now, that's an interesting narrative. The chart is somewhat less interesting in that ETH looks like it's in a range between 4,500 and 4,700. And you know what? I'd be content to see it sit there while things play out in other areas of the market, hoping for a breakout higher. Galaxy Digital. As you know, I am a huge fan of this stock, the stock of Mike Novogratz's crypto hedge fund, Galaxy Digital. All right. And I'm a big fan of using this as a leading indicator for the crypto markets, particularly Bitcoin. Now, what I'm noticing is Galaxy exploded and then fell out of bed. So I'm wondering if Galaxy holds 28, that's constructive for crypto. If Galaxy doesn't hold 28, I'm starting to wonder if anybody out there is pricing in essentially lethargic, dead, or even slumping prices in big cryptos like Bitcoin. I know Novogratz is aggressively investing in gaming, okay, and the NFT universe, right? But if Galaxy doesn't rally, okay, that could mean a very stagnant crypto market in December, which is why you need to stay tuned right here to hear about some of these coins that we like on both a fundamental and a technical basis. Now, IoTA, which my friends are going to talk about in depth, all right? IoTA, what my friends don't know is that it's breaking above a Fibonacci extension line that had stopped IoTA in both September and about 3 or 4 days ago. So what does that mean? Well, it means bears were in control and every uptick was getting sold. Now, 5 days after the bears tried to sell again and assert control, bulls are now taking control. Now, the reasoning for all this, I'm going to let my colleagues go into that later, but you definitely want to pay attention to this coin because not only is there a fundamental story and a technical story, but I think there's a technical shift, meaning the chart is changing and the story about this coin has completely changed. So more on that later. Now, RMRK, something that we've talked about yesterday, something that we talked about in depth with our premium customers. So, Mehdi, I understand you've got like the 2-minute elevator pitch on this. Can you give us some flavor as I let the audience look at the chart, the green candle, and the breakout above 48?
Thank you, Will. Happy to share some lights. I'm also going to discuss in detail in the later segment. But just to give you an elevator pitch, just think about a metaverse where metaverse is represented at NFTs. And these NFTs, to make things a bit more complex for you guys, can own other NFTs. So you are now building a very complex metaverse where amazing things can happen, and RMRK is doing that. Not only that, they have an innovation called conditional rendering. Sorry, I sound a bit technical, but this, I think for me, is a game changer, guys. So just think about it. You create a metaverse and you link that metaverse with real world events. So for example, let's say you create a metaverse and you buy some land and you fix that land price with whatever is happening in the economy of US. So let's say Fed increases or decreases interest rate, your metaverse reacts to that. If the stock market in US goes up and down, your metaverse reacts to that. If the population in US starts increasing all of a sudden, your metaverse reacts to that. So all of this is being done, and I think RMRK is going to create their own metaverse by mid to late 2022. And I think market have started to realize this, and that's why we are kind of seeing the pump. The pump is based on the fundamental, and I think market have started to realize that, let's say, Mana and San, they have $1 billion valuation, like 10 to 20 billion dollars valuation, while RMRK was just 400 million. And that is one of the reasons why I'm bullish on it, because you're buying innovation at a cheap valuation.
All right. Thank you, Mehdi. Now, what I would add to that is when you're looking at metaverse coins, here's a question to ask yourself. Who can compete with Facebook? So when I hear like Mehdi's sort of like shorter pitch, and then yesterday at our premium customer webinar, I heard a broader pitch, right? The broader story. All I could think about is how much can a coin be worth if they could give Facebook a run for their money? We've seen it in, Decentraland and Sandbox, right? Now, what happens if there are like one or two coins out there that sneak up on everybody? So everyone has chased lower quality. Now I'm starting to wonder if there can be a flood into this new metaverse theme, which is who's got the fundamentals to compete with Facebook. In research, you get paid for imagination, and I'll let my colleagues go into more detail later. Now, IoTX, a new layer 1 protocol that's mixing what we call in legacy the Internet of Things, all right, with on-chain data. Now, one thing I'm noticing that we talked about, with the group was when they brought this coin up, I immediately drew some charts and I said, hey, look at this. This thing went below the 62% retracement of its initial rally and did what I've talked about every market update since we went live on YouTube every day, which is consolidate below resistance, irritate everybody, and then, boom, pops back above that key 62% level. So buyers, as in IOTA, we've discovered another coin where buyers are taking control where there's a good story. Mike, are you out there?
Yep, over here.
All right, Mike, tell us a little bit about, this whole new layer 1, because I know everybody is always on the hunt for the next one. So give us some flavor on this.
Yeah, for sure. IoTeX, personally, one of the easiest layer 1s to utilize in terms of decentralized finance. You can essentially use their wallet on your phone, interact with DeFi, various exchanges, games, and all that fun stuff on your phone. So essentially, they're bringing DeFi and crypto capabilities to mobile. So that's one big reason I'm pretty bullish on IoTeX. On top of that, they just announced their integration with essentially machines. As of right now, you could buy an IoTeX camera, and by having the IoTeX camera, you're eligible to get IoTeX every time that camera is used. They're connecting essentially machines and the blockchain together, and their initiative for doing that is called MachineFi.
Oh, all right. Love it. MachineFi. So think about this. Why should you subscribe to our channel? Not a lot of people ask that. Well, I'll tell you why. Because Token Metrics has both the artificial intelligence, and if you follow my colleagues, okay, we can find, using our human analysts, along with the machine learning, coins that have legit upside prospects, not investment advice, provide quality, realistic analysis to you, all right? Because think about it. Where have you heard MachineFi, right? In other words, when you connect your refrigerator, your tablet, your camera, and any other device that requires the internet, imagine getting paid in a token for that via a layer 1 solution. Think about it. Now, something that's showing up in our AI and something I've been talking about that seems to be holding up well is Somnium Space, or Cube. right? Cube is showing that sort of stop, start, wind it up formation. And assuming this market holds itself together, or assuming maybe things in this metaverse arena maybe are a haven from volatility elsewhere, that may be a stretch, but Cube still looks okay. And it looks like buyers are trying to come in kind of a so-so market. All right, let's talk bigger coins. Polkadot wanted to see it hold 38. It went to 33. Wanted to see it get back above 38. All right. And this is a classic case of a large coin basically irritating everybody. So for the moment in Polkadot, 33 to 38 is the range. I know there are a lot of Polkadot fans on the panel. I know there are a lot of big Polkadot fans in the audience. This is the waiting game. The good news about Polkadot is it's kind of already gotten hammered. So if there's volatility related to non-crypto things, I'm hoping Polkadot stays in its 38 to 33 range. Now, Luna. So this was a case where I looked at Luna and I was like, okay, there's an accumulation cone happening. This is also a big Novogratz play. And it's also this idea that, sort of DeFi, the trade itself, like how many DeFi protocols or how many DeFi coins are actually worth holding. Everything is kind of going gaming and metaverse, all right? And DeFi is sort of becoming more, complex. So before I dive into Luna, Mehdi, I think we talked about this before. Can you sort of give me a flavor as to why gaming and metaverse seems to be eclipsing DeFi?
Yeah, sure. So one of the narrative market have started to kind of price in is that, okay, with DeFi, you have risks that hacks can happen. You have to do smart contract audit. So people already become a bit risk averse that, let's say if I buy this token, I might get rug pull. That could be a hack. And to be frank with you, sometimes founders are anonymous because they're kind of following the ethos of Bitcoin, right? And because of that, recently we have started seeing gaming emerge and metaverse emerge, especially with gaming. You don't need to worry about smart contract hacks or having huge TVL locked because you build a game and you introduce tokens on it and then you kind of introduce marketplace on it. So the risk of rug pulls, risk of anonymous founders taking your money and going away, and smart contract audits are low. And recently for Luna, I must add, there's a game called Derby, which is being built on Luna. And I think community members of Terra Luna ecosystem have become quite bullish on it. And not only Luna is kind of capturing the theme of gaming, but it's also kind of capturing the theme that, let's say, if we assume the market is frothy because of gaming, you can put your stable coins on Anchor, which is a protocol based on Luna, and earn 20% interest rate. And whilst you earn that interest rate, Luna gets burned. So all in all, metaverse or market getting overvalued, both kind of plays to the narrative for Luna, and market has started thinking about it, and that's why I'm assuming market is reacting to its potential.
All right. So thank you for that. So what I would call that from my legacy background is sometimes when things get uncertain, there's what's called a flight to quality. So both Mehdi and Michael helped me before the stream identify, okay, yeah, I caught the chart, but then they gave me the rationale behind the chart. So there's a DeFi narrative, a gaming narrative, and Michael pointed out, I believe, that if Luna is being burned at a rate that is more aggressive than Ethereum. Mike, did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this could mean that crypto hedge funds, this is another sort of leap that I'm making. If there's a flight to quality, who's doing the flight? Who's flying into Luna? I'm guessing hedge funds. So if you have an uncertain world, assuming no crypto crash, and you have the ability to get yield on a platform where, the coin itself has a shrinking supply, it makes sense as to why when Luna broke out of this accumulation cone, how it came back down and went right back up again. So this could be one of these coins where if we have to deal with negative news flow, okay, so this has to do with crypto, right? Crypto has to deal with the fact that there's going to be virus news on the tape. And nobody knows what that means. We're crypto guys, not doctors. So if people are looking for yield and people are looking for like stability and exposure to good themes or the new themes in the market, Luna is the place where they may be going. Okay, now let's talk about another layer one that both from a chart and a fundamental perspective may be kind of like the next breakout. Okay, my colleagues are telling me, as I told you yesterday, that Phantom has a really, I don't know, nifty mechanism for trading without gas fees. All right, one thing I'm going to tell everybody right now is, given some of the uncertainties in the market, I would personally, as a retail investor, non-investment advice, but I would not be in a hurry to spend $100 on gas fees to get into a trade unless I really, really believed in it. So this whole idea in an uncertain world of low fee trading and execution could become actually more important than it would be in an up move. So with Phantom lurking, below $2.50, all right, this consolidation below resistance is something we've been talking about, or I've been talking about, pitching to you in the market update as a theme from 2021 that's worked, right? So if you see kind of a stalemate below resistance, the next move could be through that resistance line. Now, Solana. Is Solana a flight to quality play? Is Solana something that big funds are going to want to show that they've owned? It's called window dressing. I think the answer to that is yes. So Solana outperformed yesterday, so naturally it's underperforming today. If Solana can like mount resistance and get above resistance at 240, I think 280 is the minimum upside target. Now, would I FOMO into Solana today, right now, as I'm saying this on December 2nd? Honestly, no, right? I think we're in a no FOMO zone. So if you can watch the market go sideways, okay, or even dip, right? If you wait a day or so, if you've got to trade Solana, right? Don't say I'm buying Solana at 224 and I'm never selling, because you don't know what the next 1 to 3 months holds. But I say if you're going to do these, you're going to invest in a coin like Solana, take a trading mentality. Okay, let's talk about the metaverse. Speaking of a trading mentality, okay, very interesting price action here, very difficult to deal with. I'm going to give you 2 schools of thought on the metaverse. Thought number 1, okay, the virus news changed the metaverse narrative. So whereas I originally thought, honestly, this was going to be a mega trend, which was up, range up, that may still be true, but, you know, my colleagues, particularly Forrest, will tell you that you want to get good projects at good entry points. So I'm a lot more inclined to wait. If you want to trade Sandbox, if you see support at 6 and you think it can bounce to 7.5 and you want to do a trade, great. These are on centralized exchanges, so you can do so with reasonable fees. Now, would I pile my rent or investment capital into Sandbox because you're angry that you missed it? No. Because if the market gets wrecked, you may be able to buy this at 4.5. Okay? So as an analyst, to serve you best, I got to be flexible. I got to be, right? When news comes out, if that changes the view, then I got to change what I tell you. So trade the short term, okay? If you're a long-term investor, it doesn't hurt to wait. Okay, Decentraland. Now, it didn't moon as much during that, phase where, Vulcan was going totally parabolic. So Decentraland got the support around 4 and change, right? And now it's going to try to bounce. So if Decentraland does bounce, great, you can do a trade. It might go up to 5. If Decentraland doesn't bounce, you may be able to buy it, like, say, at 3 or 3.5. Now, if you've already got these coins, You got to ask yourself, at what level am I either willing to buy more or am I willing to stop out? Because the most important thing right now is to have a plan, a list of coins you think can survive, and a list of coins you think that can come back if there's a correction throughout the rest of this month. And that, friends, is the market update. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it over to Forrest, because Forrest is going to give you his knowledge drop and maybe talk about, the whole IOTA story, which, in Forrest's usual style, he, along with my colleagues, has helped uncover what is a fascinating story. So Forrest, take it away.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. Thank you for the market update. All right. So I want to walk through kind of the Bitcoin chart, the altcoin market dominance chart. But before I do, I want to actually talk about the Luna chart, because as people in the chat have mentioned, right, the title of this stream is 3 altcoins that we think you should know about, but they're altcoins that we think that could really hold up in a market dip, and they're already holding up in this dip so far today. Luna's holding very steady. Yes, it has, pushed much higher, and a lot of the easy gains are gone. However, if you're looking for a trade or an allocation to Luna, I want to walk you through how I personally would be going about that. So we had our dip down to $38. This was a very key support level. I personally got in at $39. And have been riding this upwards, but I haven't taken profits yet. The reason I haven't taken profits yet is in large part due to this chart over here. This is altcoin dominance, right? We're breaking out of a multi-month, right? The top here, this was May. Excuse that horrible handwriting. That was May. And we've been consolidating in this pattern until 2 days ago for months, since May. And we've just recently broken out of it convincingly. Right. So yes, we may run out of steam and come back down here to test it as support and do a little what I refer to as a bump and run. But if we continue to see altcoin dominance rise, the market is basically saying, hey, there's still cryptocurrencies that are undervalued and we're going to invest in them so long as Bitcoin is just holding steady. And that's what Bitcoin's really doing right now. I'll go to the Bitcoin chart and we'll talk about it in more detail in moments. But Bitcoin's just holding steady. It's consolidating, just like it consolidated back here. But not to give you whiplash, I want to go back over to the Luna, the Terra Luna chart. All that to say, the reason I am not taking profits yet is I believe that altcoins in general can explode here, especially if Bitcoin recovers and gives a nice run and reclaims 60K. My target, my first take profit target for this Luna trade is around $76, the 2x long level of this recent low, right? There's a couple things that I'm watching out for, and there's a potential opportunity to reload on Luna at $57, right? So $57 would be our previous resistance here, which we would expect if we drop back down to act as support. It's also an important margin pressure level, which I won't get into margin pressure levels too much in this segment. But if we zoom into the 4 hour, we can see that this pump, right? Let me zoom back out to the daily to show you what I'm referring to. This pump from $38 all the way up to 64, 65, where we're at, as denoted by this red trend line. If we zoom into the 4 hour chart, this is the trend line that I want to watch to make sure it doesn't break. If it breaks, I may consider taking profits early under the assumption that I'll be able to pick some cheaper Terra Luna up at this $57 mark, right? Actually, let me correct this. This is not $57. This is $54, right? So that is actually mislabeled. I don't want to mislead anybody there. That is $54 that I think Terra could come back down to test its previous support, $54, $55, right? Otherwise, I'm just going to let this trend line play out. And my first take profit level is the resistance that we should get around $76, $75 to $76. So that's personally how I'm playing Luna. If you missed Luna, I think there's an opportunity to buy it in this $54 to $57 range, right? Now I want to jump over to Bitcoin. And I just want to give you guys an update on what Bitcoin's actually doing, because it's doing exactly what it did between July 20th and September 28th. It's playing out almost the exact same fractal to a T. If I take the bar pattern here, and I even include some of the more recent data that shows what happens next, you can see that this Bitcoin fractal has been playing out even in size. A lot of times you have to, with fractals, you have to like change the size around. This has been the same size pump in terms of percentages on a logarithmic scale, right? And what's going on right now is just a consolidation in here. Let me remove this fractal to show you exactly what's happening. There's a key margin pressure level, two key margin pressure levels at $59,000 and $58,000 respectively. We are consolidating in this downtrend line and uptrend line pattern that you can see with the orange dashed line, and we're consolidating underneath this key margin pressure level. This is exactly what happened previously in the end of September. We had our ABC correction, we had our drop after our large pump, right? And we're just consolidating under this key margin pressure level. If Bitcoin can continue to consolidate and hold steady, I think altcoins can continue to do well. And eventually, I would expect Bitcoin to find support on this trend line and go upwards. Now, that's not to say that we couldn't see, like Bill talked about, legacy come in and mess things up for us. We've seen that in the past. We've seen that in the form, and I don't really have to remind anybody that was here back in 2020. We saw that in the form of the first COVID pandemic news that broke the entire market down, not just Bitcoin, all markets, right? We were in a very, very nice uptrend, trending into a bull market before that happened. And we did bounce back quickly, but we just have to be cautious of what news and news cycles can do to the price of crypto and the price of Bitcoin. But all signs for me are pointing towards relative bullishness. Altcoins are breaking out. People are wanting to speculate in the altcoin market, despite the fact that Bitcoin doesn't look the healthiest it's ever looked. Yes, it looks on track, but it's still in the midst of a correction, but people are still pushing into altcoins. Altcoin dominance is rising against Bitcoin, right? The last chart I'll show you guys in this segment is just an update on total cryptocurrency market cap, right? This is total cryptocurrency market cap going all the way back to 2014. Yes, we are a little bit overvalued against our trend line. Ignore these two big red lines. They're just bad prints. It's just bad data. But we've been holding this bull market trend line. We've been holding, of course, we're well above our long-term trend line here, the one I'm putting an X through right now. But we've also held this green bull market trend line over and over and over again. And throughout this bull market, those have been the best dips to actually buy, the dips that pull back to this trend line, because each time following these dips, we've seen very big pumps following the trip down to this trend line. So that's what I would expect to see again. Unless, of course, we get some sort of macroeconomic news that disrupts this particular trend. But yeah, that's my market segment, or that's my market update segment. Back over to Bill. Actually, I believe we're going to move right into the next segment. That is going to be, before we go into Crypto Showdown, make sure you use Mehdi. And if you want to participate in Crypto Showdown in a moment, we're going to go over to Mehdi to talk about Metaverse portfolios discussion.
Thank you, Forrest. An amazing analysis. Appreciate what you do. So before I jump in, there was a question by FaceHack. Basically, he asked, guys, you're terrific. I like your work, but how can we ensure you're not advertising or have a personal interest in what you say? So my personal rebuttal for this would be, we're getting paid to kind of research crypto, and I think that's the greatest opportunity there is, because you're getting paid to follow your passion. So that's the ulterior motive, and the other ulterior motive is we want to produce great content and show how much value we add. So you can subscribe to Token Metrics, and of course our portfolios over there are disclosed, and every single allocation of our portfolio is disclosed. So I hope that answers the question. So in terms of Metaverse, in terms of my own personal portfolio allocation, I'm going to share some thoughts that how I kind of think about the whole crypto landscape and what role metaverse and smart contract play. And for that reason, I'm just gonna share my screen and hope it kind of uh, gives some color to some of my analysis. One second. So lately, since the start of the year, we basically saw a metaverse, which includes gaming, which actually includes metaverse, virtual, uh, attending virtual conferences, going to virtual LAN, so on and so forth, earning digital real estate, and also NFTs. So this line over here kind of represents all of those things. And then over here, we have performance of smart contract layer ones. So Ethereum, AVAX, Luna, Polkadot, even though Polkadot is not a smart contract, but uh, according to their analysis, it's included there. And then you have all of DeFi. So the way I kind of see is you have Metaverse outperforming, kind of market's narrative change. All of a sudden, there was a knee-jerk reaction. There is no COVID in metaverse. There is no smart contract risk or hack risk in metaverse like there is in DeFi. As I mentioned earlier, team members don't have to be anonymous. So market at the moment is liking that, right? But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Uh, there could be a theme of security token, right? There could be a theme that DeFi is no longer suitable because of some regulatory changes. But there is one consistent theme, and we have seen that throughout all the cycles. Smart contract platform tend to perform well. They might not overperform all the sectors out there, but all in all, in average, when we talk about average, it kind of captures the performance of different themes altogether, and so you can get an index level exposure. So that is one of the reasons I believe, and I also personally own a lot of layer ones and layer zeros in my portfolio, because I believe whatever the next upcoming theme is, I might not know. I don't know if there will be seven further variants created down the road, which will basically make everybody love metaverse, or it could be the chance that COVID all of a sudden goes away and DeFi picks up. It's very difficult to take a big bet. Although I know this, whatever theme picks up, I'm going to get a good average return through smart contracts, so it kind of dominates my portfolio. But I'm also cognizant. I'm also cognizant that metaverse have been lately doing really well. So, what are some of the projects that can still continue to outperform? And I have one project which I mentioned earlier, which I really like. It's called RMRK.
All right, Mehdi, before you jump into RMRK, let me summarize for viewers out there. So what Mehdi was saying about layer ones is if you don't know what to do, or you're saying new to crypto and you're like, oh my God, how do I get in on DeFi? How do I get on in Metaverse? And how do I get in and not get killed, particularly if Forrest is right? That if Forrest is right, and he probably will be, that the crypto market can climb the wall of worry. So if you take what Forrest said and what Mehdi said and synthesize it together, it could mean that the layer one protocols are, a reasonable investment if you're new. You want exposure to both future crypto upside without totally getting killed if there's a move lower. So you want to be able to get exposure to multiple things, get exposure to a rally without worrying about perhaps the bottom falling out underneath. Not investment advice. All right, Mehdi, RMRK, what the audience has been waiting for.
Yeah, so RMRK. Before that, somebody asked me on the chat that which is one of the layer ones I kind of like. So before I jump into RMRK, just taking a data-driven approach, I believe AVAX could be one of the interesting ones. So I'm gonna tell you why I think AVAX could be one of the interesting ones. So recently and lately, it has been on tear. It has been performing really well, and there is a reason for that. The reason is a lot of Ethereum based projects are going to Avalanche because of the C chain. So if you're looking for a hedge because you have a lot of Ethereum in your portfolio and you're looking for a hedge that say Ethereum disappoints, Ethereum 2.0 doesn't act according what our perception is or our expectations are, Avalanche can be one of the alternatives. And recently, both projects are building natively on Avalanche, and a lot of projects are also kind of migrating towards Avalanche from Ethereum. So this chart in easier word, shows the TVL, how much value is being locked in Avalanche. And you can see over here, it has basically after Phantom, which we also kind of like, but Avalanche has been rising exponentially, outpacing every other smart contract, including Solana. And the other one, apart from Phantom, is Terra, which my colleagues mentioned earlier, and also I mentioned that there are a few triggers out there that can make sure Terra just outperforms everyone. So this chart kind of summarizes that these layer ones have a lot of value being locked. Uh, so yeah, that kind of answers that question. And now I'm going to share some of my thoughts on RMRK, which is one of the metaverse picks I have, because I feel like in this kind of like a frothy market where everything is expensive, what you buy, which is kind of cheaper and also kind of gives you some uh, pie share of the future. Yep. So I mentioned earlier, I'm going to slow down a bit now and talk about conditional rendering. So RMRK, there's a reason why I'm bullish on it. Uh, so just imagine, let's say you own a metaverse, or you own a piece of NFT. Let's start with a piece of NFT. You you own a piece of NFT, and you want and that NFT piece is Mona Lisa's painting, yeah. Uh, and you click on a button, and Mona Lisa smiles, or she doesn't smile, she gets sad. So you can do that through an innovation called conditional rendering, where you can make your NFT react to on-chain as well as off-chain triggers. So you can make your NFT Mona Lisa cry, smile, sad, so on and so forth. Now imagine that NFT is not Mona Lisa, but it's actually a piece of digital land. And let's say in Decentraland, for example, you can basically give your NFT instruction to follow the economy of China, economy of US, economy of Pakistan, what have you. And your metaverse will react to all of those triggers. So let's say if there's an earthquake in Japan, and you kind of, God forbid if there is, you want to have a metaverse which kind of acts to that event, your metaverse will act to that event. And for me, it's a game changer. And it's also kind of pushing NFT one step ahead. So NFT will no longer remain JPEGs. NFT will also now incorporate digital real estate, and that digital real estate will be smart. And we can also kind of do another interesting things. So let's say you make an NFT of token metrics, and let's say if you get 50 likes, you can see within our live stream 50 rockets emojis going by, thanks to conditional rendering. And this is what RMRK is doing. Imagine NFTs, and these NFTs, by the way, could be digital land, it could be digital mall, it could be digital school. Imagine if you have the capability of these NFTs to be governed as DAOs. So I'm going to give you an examples to kind of clarify what this amazing innovation can do. Imagine this is an NFT. This billboard is an NFT, and you own it, right? And you also own this piece of land. So let's say this piece of land and this billboard is owned by Token Metrics. Now, my billboard also has an ad column, and I place this billboard on my land. So Token Metrics buys this billboard and puts it over here. It's over here. And we basically tokenize this billboard to all of our Token Metrics family. So everybody who likes the YouTube video or who is a subscriber to our YouTube video will basically get tokens of this of this billboard as non-fungible token. So this NFT can be divided into separate tokens, which can be divided into community. Now, Token Metrics gets approached by Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Nike, because we do amazing shows for you guys. They want to place ad on our billboard. And this, by the way, is owned by community, because Token Metrics was nice enough to give it to everybody in the community. So the community decide who should place the ad on this on this NFT, and this ad placement is also NFT. So what I'm trying to say is, with RMRK, you have NFTs that can own other NFTs, and those NFTs can own other NFTs, and we can govern all of this together as a DAO. Bit complex, bit abstract, but just bear with me. So when the DAO decide, okay, Coca-Cola should get the ad placement because they're giving us the most bribe, Coca-Cola will win the ad placement banner, and all of our community members will earn money because of the advertisement there. So this is just one application, right? You can think about you can think about these applications in terms of digital mall, digital school, and so on and so forth. So for that reason, I'm really bullish on RMRK, and I think it has not financial advice. It has 5 to 10x potential. Reasoning being, it's 400 to 450 million valuation fully diluted. Whilst if you compare Mana and Sandbox and other metaverses out there, they're in billions. So average valuation of a metaverse at the moment is 3 billion. So you have 5 to 6x potential just there. And those metaverses do not have complicated and as innovative innovation as RMRK is trying to achieve. So I hope you guys kind of see the rationale in terms of why token metrics have recently started being bullish. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and hope you guys have questions at the end of the show, and hope to answer them. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Mehdi. So a couple points. Friends, we at Token Metrics, everybody you see here, we're analysts. We are employed to do research for our customers and provide you with the best YouTube show out there. Because we're analysts, all right, what we give you is our best shot at the best research. Now, what did Mehdi just show you? He showed you a way where real estate, okay, where that meets advertising. So real estate, advertising, governance, or let's just say who runs the town or who runs the real estate company is sort of all melded into one, right? So who's going to make the metaverse fun? Who's going to make it profitable, right? And who's going to make it, I don't know, a little bit like reality, especially when it comes to making money. So that's what we're here for. And that's what this particular project may be doing. In other words, everyone I watch on YouTube is like, oh, here's a metaverse play because the graphics are cool in the game. Okay, well, that could be true. And that could be a reason to buy or a reason to invest, say, in a parabolic market where everything's going up. But when it comes to sector selection and when it comes to valuation, okay, and when it comes to what? The story, okay, Mehdi gave you the story as to what that particular project is doing. Now, if you got all of it, great. Okay, that's the second time I've heard it. Okay, so I'm starting to get it. So it's something that you may have to go back and watch and see more than once. But I'm just going to tell you right now, as an analyst, okay, it's not investment advice and no one knows what the future holds. But let me say this. This token has a story, and that story is getting told, okay, on this channel, and where else? Nowhere else as of now. So it's not investment advice, but who's got the story? Who's got the quality of the story? Okay. And the answer is that would be us. Now, speaking of the quality of the story, I want to jump over to Forrest because I saw a comment that we forgot IoTA. And we didn't forget IoTA. We just saved it for last. We saved the best, okay, for, you know, it's not the best. RMRK is great. We're saving Forrest narrative about IoTA, so to build it up and to get everybody to focus in on what he's saying. So Forrest, tell us how you found it, and then maybe you and Michael can talk about what you're doing to get involved with wallets, exchanges, etc. So Forrest, over to you on IoTA.
Yeah, so I'll give a brief little intro on IoTA, and then Mike's going to give you the real scoop and the real details about IoTA and Shimmer network. And they actually just launched another network called Assembly today. That's just like brand new news, hot off the press in the last 2 hours or so. I personally haven't had time to read the article and read about Assembly yet. I don't know if Mike has. If he has, maybe he'll give you the scoop on that as well. But IoTa's trying to build something kind of similar to Polkadot, but also bringing in aspects of other kind of layer ones that are successful right now. And what they're doing is IOTA is actually like a layer 0, similar to Polkadot. So it's a layer 0 with a consensus mechanism called the Tangle. And the Tangle is based on DAG technology, that's directed acyclic graph technology, which is similar but different to blockchain technology. What DAG technology allows you to do, or what the IOTA Foundation believes it's going to allow them to do, is create an ecosystem, a smart contract ecosystem that can be decentralized and have decentralized consensus, but with zero fees while maintaining scalable throughput. It's kind of the holy trinity of crypto, right? What's the blockchain trilemma, right? Security, decentralization, scalability, and fees, something like that. I think that was like 4 things I just named off. So maybe the quad lemma, if you will. But IOTA's trying to create an ecosystem where you can build a layer 0, where you can build layer 1s that sit on top of this layer 0, that inherit its consensus mechanism and zero fee structure, but can communicate with each other and transact with each other in a very secure way. So that what that means is that the layer 1s that are built on top of IOTA can then transact with each other cross-chain without fees. This is going to be very difficult, has a lot of people don't believe this is a possible feat to accomplish. We're about to find out. So, Mike, do you want to dive in a little bit deeper on IOTA and Shimmer Network?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that update and overview of IOTA. Again, scalability trilemma, pretty big problem in the blockchain industry. As of right now, Bitcoin and ETH haven't solved it. So IOTA is trying to solve this, and they're leveraging, Ethereum's growing network to do this. So let me go ahead and jump into this. So yeah, IOTA's Tangle, again, it's trying to solve this trilemma of scalability and decentralization. And they're doing this with their new Chrysalis network upgrade, which essentially provides security, scalability, and decentralization for projects. And this project, IOTA, they're essentially trying to combine, initiatives from Moonriver, Aurora, and other EVM compatible blockchains and layer 1 smart contract solutions to bring EVM compatibility and network expandability to IOTA. So yeah, Shimmer Network, very similar features.
Mike, just to jump in, try resharing your screen. Try unsharing and resharing the screen.
Oh, there we go. Hope you guys see that now.
All right, there we go.
Shimmer Network, very interesting project. Similar use cases to Moonriver, Aurora Network again, but very like Moonriver, they're doing it on IOTA, which is essentially a layer 1 block or layer 0 blockchain, as Forrest mentioned. So Shimmer Network is going to be their canary testnet, much like Kusama is to Polkadot, but with this network, developers utilizing IOTA will have a chance to experiment with the blockchain, as well as essentially innovate and allow users to access these innovations through Shimmer Network, much like Kusama, has its own ecosystem, and Remark is developing on top of Kusama. Shimmer Network has the capabilities of expanding IOTA's ecosystem alongside Ethereum's, and they're doing this by bringing EVM compatibility with their smart contract languages. So as of right now, Ethereum blockchain, you can mainly develop on it using Solidity, but with Shimmer Network and IOTA, you could develop DeFi related projects with Substrate, Solidity, Ethereum Go, as well as Rust. So these are all very popular programming languages, and giving these developers the capability to do this is to definitely go a long way in creating an ecosystem for Shimmer Network. And they're doing the initial launch of Shimmer Network by essentially allowing IOTA holders to get airdrops 1-to-1 of IOTA tokens to Shimmer tokens. And this is going to be going through their own wallet. So if you go on Firefly here on IOTA's main page, you'll be able to essentially go into the solutions, and right here, Firefly wallet, set up a wallet here and transfer IOTA to it, and whatever IOTA you're holding for 90 days, every 10 seconds, or I believe 1 to 10 seconds, they'll be giving you Shimmer tokens. So the overall allocation of the token is going to be very decentralized, because it's going to be airdropped to IOTA holders. And actually, the IOTA token itself was very decentralized in its launch initially. Yeah.
All right, Mike. So, quick question. So, if you're holding IOTA in the IOTA wallet, right? Are you going to be eligible for 1 or 2 airdrops? Is it Shimmer and something else? Am I getting that right?
Yes, Shimmer or SMR tokens, and there's also a new token that's being released. They just announced it today. That's building on Shimmer Network Assembly, which was what Forrest had just mentioned previously. I haven't done much of a deep dive into that, but it was just released today, so I'm going to be definitely looking more into that protocol. But Shimmer is going to be the smart contract network that's developing on top of IOTA. And utilizing this network, developers can infinitely expand their ecosystems on IOTA's network alongside Ethereum, and with the possibility of other chains, because the network and the language that's utilized on this is very compatible with other chains. So Solana also uses Rust. Avalanche also uses Rust and Go. So Shimmer Network has the potential of essentially becoming an all-in-one ecosystem aggregator for blockchain layer 1 projects. And on top of this, the token and the network is offering almost feeless transactions for gas as well as NFTs. So this is going to go a long way.
All right, so very interesting. So let me see if I can summarize, and then you can check me at the end. So IOTA, this crypto that, I don't know, bears have had control of for a while, all right, is all of a sudden offering people the opportunity to get it, pull it off exchanges, put it in a wallet, and then get airdrops of coins that can both act as interoperability plays or layer 1. So it has a little layer 0 and a little layer 1 to it. So in investing, it's about the story. So gentlemen, does that sound like I've got the story right there?
100%.
Yeah, and what could happen is because IOTA has never had a staking mechanism before, there's been no real reason to pull it off of an exchange other than for security purposes. Now people, if they want to stake it, they have to pull it off the exchange. Well, if everybody's buying a ton of IOTA, driving the price of it up, right, because they want to stake it, but then they turn around and they take it off the exchange, all of a sudden the supply that's left over on exchanges is diminishing very rapidly, and that could cause a supply squeeze. So we have an increase in demand happening because people want to buy it to stake it and earn these additional tokens, right? And you have a shrinkage of supply because people are taking it off exchanges. This, to me, is a recipe for a pump of some sort.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. So what we're giving you here is narratives for altcoins, okay, that we think can do well, really well, if the market goes up, and can actually do okay if the market is stable. So if we're looking at RMRK, because I know we're already starting to get questions about when and how do we get involved, and I want to very carefully answer that question by looking at a chart. So hopefully you can see my screen, okay? This is a chart of RMRK. So here is 48 on a Gann. So RMRK just broke through that. This is a 4-hour chart, probably in the last couple of hours. The next resistance is at 57. Now, one of the things about RMRK is because it's new, it's unique, it's hard to understand, okay? Unless, of course, you're listening to Mehdi where he explains it to you. But for the rest of the world, you could have these FOMO moves and then these retracements. So if there's a retracement back to 48, okay, on a flush lower in the market, that's one support point. Now, if you're sitting there like, oh my God, it's at 53, what do I do? Okay, sometimes waiting can be okay, right? In other words, you can say, all right, maybe if it breaks 57, that's the next resistance, I'll buy the next dip or the next range. Now, if the thing really takes off, okay, honestly, I think with momentum trades, right, you have to be able to say to yourself, how much risk do I want to take, right? In other words, what I want to do is we gave you a good research on a coin. And now I know you're pumped up, but do you want to put all your money in? Do you have to? Well, if it has long-term upside potential, you can scale in. You can say, all right, let's get involved. And then you can do what our founder, Ian Bellina, frequently talks about, which is called add to winners. So if you get involved and you start to win, then you can start to add. So it's not investment advice, but it can be a way to play a momentum trade, okay, when you're really enthusiastic to get in, but you don't have to put all your money in at the same time. And since I don't think you have to buy this on a decentralized exchange, I'm hoping transaction costs can be reasonable on the centralized exchanges that you're in. All right. So with that question answered, I want to go over and see if I can just do a miniature version of altcoin overtime and answer some questions that I saw pop up in the chat. All right. So people are asking about GLCH. Okay. There's support at $1.56. I think the level that has to hold, it's not marked on the chart, is like $1.24. So when you're going from 20 cents to $3, you can expect some serious chop. Okay, if it were me, okay, I might see if 156 holds and maybe hold out for $1.23. Now, KDA. This has been like a big, what I would call YouTube coin. It's gone from 2 to 28. The question is, can it take out 18? So, Mike, if you're out there, can you give us like the 2-minute pitch on why KDA might have upside if it takes out 18?
Yeah, definitely. So if you've been Token Metrics customer for a while now, you know we covered KDA at about $1.50, $2 each. So hopefully you've been riding this wave up. But yeah, KDA 20-layer blockchain. It's essentially disentangling blockchains and redefining the way they're structured. So yeah, it's 20-layer blockchain. Governance is separate, finality, transactions separate, as well as governance. And it has a lot of institutional partners, and a lot of top tier companies are partnering with KDA.
So really interesting that if big institutions in Wall Street want to get involved, they may be looking at KDA. Now, to answer, first of all, Mike, thanks for that. There was another question about how you can get our premium videos where we go into like deep dives on RMRK or on the reports that Mike was talking about where, we discuss these coins way before they go up. That's on our premium plan webinar. So every Wednesday we have, a version of this discussion that's way more intense and way more detailed, involving multiple other analysts, okay, where we're giving you, the coins, the hidden gems, where we're searching to try to find the next big moves. And not just that, but, the details of the details of the details as to why certain coins have a value proposition. Okay, somebody asking about XRP. I'm getting a lot of requests for XRP because I can tell people may be getting impatient with this. People were looking for an upside catalyst and it hasn't showed up yet. Now, the good news for XRP is that it's close to the bottom end of its range at 87.5 cents. Now, with this coin, there's a couple things you have to keep in mind. There's macroeconomic uncertainty, there's the normal volatility of crypto, and then this has a regulatory and judicial angle. So, as I said, with the virus, we're not doctors and we're also not lawyers, right? XRP is at the bottom end of its range. I guess if you've been holding this looking for a catalyst, you can lean on support, okay? If you're looking for some sort of like 5 to 10x uptrade, just a reminder, frequently when you have big rallies, that's not free. Everybody thinks crypto is free money, right? You buy on Monday, you retire on Friday. It doesn't work that way. Okay. Frequently, if you're going to get a big move, and I'm not saying there's going to be one in XRP, just frankly, you have to wait. You have to be patient. Now, I can understand in XRP if you're out of patience, but it's just a reminder that, remember why you got into the trade. Because if you can't remember why you got into the trade, then you won't be able to be patient. Okay, somebody's asking if Gala is done for this cycle. Okay, support I'm showing is at 55 cents. So if there's a lot of volatility in the market or the metaverse just goes through a normal correction, the answer to the question is Gala done will be answered by whether or not the bulls show up at 55 cents. All right, so that's a little bit of altcoin overtime. I know that when we answer people's questions, they tend to hit the like button. So I tried to get some questions in there. So for my gracious and intelligent co-hosts, I'd ask that you hit the like button out there because no one provides the roadmap in crypto like Token Metrics. All right, Forrest, what's next up? Is it Mehdi and Q? Oh no, it's Crypto Showdown, right?
It is absolutely Crypto Showdown. So we talked about a couple different cryptocurrencies today at length: RMRK, IOTA, and Terra Luna. And I guess before we reveal, we'll give people a little bit more time to put in their pick by going to menti.com and using this code at the top of the screen. But Bill, what's your take on this? What for December? Top altcoin pick for December. What are you going with?
Okay, well, since this is tough, right? This is almost like, I got 3 analysts who have, a bunch of different narratives, and now I got to pick which one has the best narrative. So here's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with RMRK because I understand it, right? Now, it took a while, but I understand it, right? Now, I know it's up 20% today. I know. But I understand it. Now, IOTA, okay, today is the first time I've heard the whole IOTA narrative, right? Staking, airdrops, layer 1, layer 0. You're effectively getting airdropped something that has, new and unique properties. But that's going to take a while to digest, at least in my head. Now, Luna, I like, all right, but if the market really goes parabolic, remember Forrest with altcoin dominance, trying to bring all our research together, which one's got more upside? Realistically, probably RMRK because Luna is a known entity. So for the month of December, probably RMRK. Now, out till March, I'd probably give a different answer, but let's go with RMRK.
Thanks, Bill. Mike, what's your take on this?
Me personally, if the metaverse trend keeps going how it is, RMRK is definitely due for some more upside. But the layer 1 rotations and smart contracts are a really big narrative as well. So I'm really bullish on IOTA. I'll go with IOTA myself.
Nice. And Mehdi, what about you?
So there is a bit of a bias here because I've studied RMRK, I've studied Terra Luna. So I think in terms of valuation potential, I would say RMRK. And guys, if you not financial advice, but if you want to kind of hear my price target for RMRK till December and then long-term price target, you guys have to give us 200 more likes. And if we get 200 likes, I'll at the end of the show I'll give you the price target for RMRK as well. I feel RMRK is undervalued if you compare it to the whole metaverse sector. And if you also compare it to some of the bigger names, let's say Decentraland or Sandbox, unique metaverses, they have valuations in double-digit billions, 10 to 20 billion. While as on the other hand, RMRK is just 400 to 450 million, and I see with my chart over here, it's just rising at the moment, so it could be 500 million now, but still there is a lot of potential. So for me, RMRK, but but also mind. I also have this in mind that Terra Luna and IOTA are both good projects and have interesting catalysts, so they are not far off.
All right. Thanks, Mehdi. And I'll give my take. So I think Terra Luna, even though it's given up a lot of, or not given up, it's pumped a lot already, and it could be approaching profit-taking levels. I think Terra Luna, if you're a trader and you're looking for short-term, either day trades or swing trades, it's the large cap crypto here. It's got very solid support and resistance levels. If you're looking for a December trade to get in and get out of, swing in, swing out, Terra Luna is the pick. And will it have as high gains? Is it going to have a 4 or 5x potential? No, but it's a really good crypto to be trading right now and looking for long opportunities on those dips. As far as what has short-term 4, 5, 6x potential, I'd have to say RMRK. Yes, the price has already moved a lot on RMRK. And when that happens, a lot of consolidation can happen for 1 to 2 months. And that's what I would be afraid of with RMRK. As I would be afraid of, all right, I take an allocation to RMRK, and then it kind of sits in a consolidation phase for 1 to 2 months. That being said, I have a high degree of faith in Mehdi's research and his valuation models. And I think, like he said, a 4, 5, 6x compared to where it's valued at right now and where we're seeing this metaverse narrative. I think RMRK, if you want to metaverse exposure in your portfolio, it's a fantastic candidate, because these metaverse exposure or these metaverse projects probably get really overvalued, right? Even if RMRK should only be valued at $1 billion, 1.5 billion, 3 billion, there's a chance that this market narrative overshoots that valuation with people getting greedy and trying to jump into these metaverse projects. So I think for December, RMRK. Now, that being said, I do have a feeling, and personally, where I'm putting my money right now is IOTA. And that's because I'm willing to take a little midterm play, because I really think it's undervalued compared to other layer 1 and layer 0 projects. So I'm going to have to say for December, RMRK, but I don't think you can go wrong with any of these. And the winner is Terra Luna and IOTA tying. I think people are sleeping on RMRK.
Wow.
Potential for, a 2, 3, 4, 5x in the short term is actually there with RMRK.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. A surprising and thorough crypto showdown rundown of all those coins. All right. Now, Forrest, do we have Q&A out there?
Yeah, let's do a little Q&A. We'll go Brady Bunch view here, and I'll kind of sort through some of these questions. Let's see. So, and some of them get a little bit specific, and we can't answer everything. Is MIOTA worth hodling? I believe so. We kind of touched on that. Holding ADA, XRP, Crypto.com, Rune, Affinity for the bull run. Do you think that's a good portfolio, or should I rebalance? So Cardano, XRP, Crypto.com, Rune, and Affinity. I would say those are all solid projects. The Cardano and XRP, I might consider rebalancing. Crypto.com, I might consider taking some profits on personally. I think Rune and Affinity are both projects that could see continued growth. I'd personally rebalance this portfolio, not financial advice, mainly to get out of Cardano and XRP, which I'm not extremely bullish on in the short term. But I'd be interested to hear your guys' take on this portfolio. So Cardano, XRP, Crypto.com, Rune, and Efinity.
Yeah, in my opinion, you need a layer one that's a bit more prominent in there than Cardano.
Right. In other words,
Yeah,
you
I'd
got to
agree with
ask yourself why you got into the trades. That's what I always tell people on rebalancing. Mehdi, go ahead.
Personally, like Affinity, I believe the price potential is there for very long term. Like if you're holding it for a couple of years, next bull run, I think it has good potential. Polkadot project, so it's legit. The founders are from Engine. Engine Coin has done really well, and they are like Vitalik for NFTs. That's how I describe them. So good pick over there. Crypto.com. If you had that in your portfolio a few months back, you would have already made a lot of gains. But if you just bought now, I think it's slightly overvalued. But all in all, good fundamentals. Overvalued, could kind of see a dip. If you kind of see a 20-30% dip, then maybe perhaps makes sense to kind of add. So yeah, those two projects are good. Thorchain has a lot of promise, but has also risk. If Rune, Thorchain, if they execute on what their vision is, their tokenomics is brilliant because it's also like an index play on all of crypto because it's a multi-chain dex. So I also like that. Personally, not big fan of XRP and Cardano. The vision is great. The academic papers are good, but I haven't seen any execution yet. And on top of that, the valuation is very high. So personally, because of that reason, I would avoid those two, but add on to these three winners. So yeah, that's my take.
Thanks, guys. The next question is, hi guys, can you show please how Tokenmetrics platform rates Shiden network? It's a Kusama version of Aster on Polkadot. So yeah, we not only have the indices and the Tokenmetrics grade and ratings, but we also put out investment research through our hidden gems, and that goes out in a newsletter every week. We also do code reviews. So if you want access to those ratings, head over to tokenmetrics.com. I believe the ratings are worth their weight in gold, or should I say worth their weight in crypto, because over and over and over again, we've seen that this analytical process to rating these projects and understanding whether or not they're a scam, whether or not they're just a bad project with a bad team and poor investment, or actually a good project with a good vision, great tokenomics, and all the other metrics that we rank these projects across, we see that this model more often than not is correct. It's got a high degree of accuracy. Now, are there going to be some projects that score poorly in our system that do end up pumping? Yeah, I mean, you look at Shiba Inu, look at the meme coins, look at Doge, right? There's all of these other projects that can slip through the cracks. But our system of ranking these projects narrows down, cuts out all the bad projects, and narrows it down to just the good, high-rated projects so you can make better decisions. Of course, not financial advice. So if you want access to those ratings and rankings, go over to tokenmetrics.com.
Just to add on Forrest's point, we have done a review on A Star and Shiden, and we were both constructive on it. We liked it actually, but we are not going to give you the full score because it's for our paid customer. And I also just wanted to give you like some insights on how the whole research, the fundamental research process works. So we have Michael. He goes over 40 to 70 projects a week and basically gives them a score based on valuation, based on team, based on innovation, based on blockchain architecture, and so on and so forth. After that, let's say we narrow it down to 4 to 7 projects, then those projects that scored 80 plus, they go to our blockchain research team. And our blockchain research team goes to the GitHub repositories. They look at the code, they look at the style of the code, they look at the developer's experience, they look at whether there are any smart contract risk or DApp risk. And then after that, we narrow it down to 2 projects, 3 projects, and then it comes to me. And then I kind of look into the tokenomics, the valuation, and also kind of see whether founder has the ability to execute, whether they'll have a good product market fit. And then we basically pitch you the idea, not financial advice, but then we pitch you the idea that, okay, this could be interesting, or maybe this is interesting, but we have to wait. And then on top of that, we have Forrest and we have Bill. They are like the market psychologists. They understand the psychology of the market, and they kind of give you kind of signals that, okay, this is the right time or this is the right entry point in order to kind of execute those ideas. So all in all, we work on a team, and then we are also cognizant that 9,000 cryptocurrencies out there, so the team cannot filter through all of those. So what we have done is we have a quant team and data science team, very very smart people. They have a lot of different complex models even I can't understand, and when I looked at them, I was shocked in terms of the complexity and the intricacies and the hard work that goes on. And these model based on momentum, mean reversion, and some academic quant research, they make models, and those models kind of look into all the coins that we don't cover, and then they give you the rating. So when you subscribe to Token Metrics, apart from these informative videos, deep dives, you also get these coin rating. So all in all, we work in a team and we work really hard to basically give you guys alpha.
All right. Thank you, Mehdi.
Yeah, excellent explanation. Yeah, so that's going to do it for our Q&A and our AMA. Bill, do you want to wrap it up for us for the live stream and take us home?
Yes, I will. So one final chart comment. Somebody's asking about SOL, ticker symbol SOL, support at 290. If that holds, bulls may be in charge. So friends, we always want to answer your questions. For our Token Metrics customers, we appreciate your business. We appreciate everybody who signed up recently. Welcome to Token Metrics. Okay, so if you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, you want to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I don't mind saying it. We're the most underrated group on YouTube. Friends, this is the Token Metrics live stream. On behalf of my colleagues.
But before we made a promise about the remark.
Right.
Bad guys. We gotta, not to interrupt Bill's epic outro. Hopefully he can repeat that for us in a second. Mehdi, we made a promise before we leave.
Yeah, I'm being a nice guy here. The promise was 200 more likes. You guys didn't deliver, even though we are delivering for you guys, but you guys didn't deliver. So by end of December, I feel like 75 is the price target, and by next year, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if it goes to 150.
All right, not investment
financial
advice, right? All right, so now where did Mehdi get that from? Well, probably from doing valuation mathematics, not from guessing. So on this note, remember, Token Metrics, we do the math. We have analysts. We are the roadmap to help you make money in crypto. So that's it for today's Thursday live stream. On behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of Token Metrics, the company, I'm your host, Bill Noble, signing off. I will see you tomorrow, and we will see you next week for our next group live stream.